for the fantasy, let's look at the facts. When Barrick Gold wanted to get the ear of the Prime Minister, they called their good buddy Nigel Wright. Now, he of all people should understand the importance of conflict of interest, but he allowed himself to be lobbied not once, not twice, but 3 times, in a classic case of who you know in the PMO. So will the government recognize that they need to clean up their act and work with us to bring in some real legislation with real teeth to close up this kind of backroom lobbying?
We already brought in such legislation. It's called the Accountability Act. It was our first priority and our first bill. We passed it in the House of Commons, and happily all of our government, including and especially the Prime Minister's Chief of Staff, have been following it ever since. The same cannot be said for the NDP, because in that very same act, it banned union contributions to political parties. The NDP knew that because it voted to ban those contributions and then proceeded to accept them and then cover it up. Even when they were asked how much was involved, they refused to admit it. It took a courageous NDP whistleblower to actually get the news out what their leader was trying to cover up, $340,000.
The honourable member for Timmins-James Bay.
Oh, Lord, this issue's sticking to them like Skippy peanut butter, but I'd like to ask the member not to try and skip away from the ethical lapses, whether it's the slush fund in Muskoka or peddling off radio stations at basement fundraisers or having a secret bat phone for Barrick Gold into the PMO. They are challenged. Will they work with us to actually start cleaning up their act and bring in legislation that will stop this kind of backroom manipulation? Yes or no?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Mr. Speaker, the question isn't whether we will introduce such legislation, it is whether the NDP will start following it. That party, when we brought in a bill to crack down on excessive lobbying, that party knew what was in the bill. They also knew that it included an explicit ban on union contributions. There is no ambiguity on that subject whatsoever. Yet they systematically, over years, accepted $340,000 in illegal union money. They tried to cover it up, Mr. Speaker. Canadians, and particularly workers, won't stand for it.